Today I've got a quick story which I thought was quite interesting. How truthful it is, I'm not too sure. Sounds legitimate, but you know, at the very least you get the entertainment value of it. If not, then at least you've got another story for the little ones. There is a value, there is a point from the story, and so inshallah you'll enjoy it. The story revolves around the person who lived in Mecca. This person was one of the citizens of Mecca, and he was one day walking around and he was very, very hungry. And as he was walking around the streets of Mecca, he saw a bag. Well, I say bag, it was just something wrapped in multiple materials. So obviously this is giving you an idea of the era that this whole story happened, and obviously it was like a long time ago. Essentially, so this guy looked around, nobody was watching him. He saw the bag, saw his opportunity, walked past the bag, made sure that the coast is clear, took the bag, and ran anything till he got home. Once he reached home, he felt that it doesn't look like there's food in there. Then he thought that it might be money, it might be a bag of money for somebody. So he started feeling it, then he opened it only to find a pearl necklace. And it looked like it was of value, because just the way it was wrapped, the way it was looked after, the way it had multiple layers of covering, the way that the pearls were arranged, it looked like it was of something of great value. So he had a thought in his head, he could go and sell this pearl necklace, get some money, and go and eat. But as he was about to even contemplate what he could do with this pearl necklace, he heard a voice shouting in the streets that somebody is offering a reward equivalent to 500 dirhams or dinars to whoever finds a bag that was missing. He thought for a moment and thought, clearly this guy's probably referring to the bag that I found. So he went and called that person and brought him in. He said to him, can you describe the bag that you are missing? He started describing that very same bag that the main character in the story found. He described it in intricate details, and he knew that this is the actual owner of this bag. He handed the bag over to the rightful owner. The rightful owner actually gave him back his reward of 500 dirham dinar. Just to give you an idea, this is equivalent to about 50,000 Saudi riyals, or roughly about 10,000 pounds sterling. So we're talking about a lot of money just finding a bag, which he may have not even got had he had just left it there. And subhanAllah, it's just how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this person go and walk down a different route and find the bag and have the idea to actually spot the bag, and subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him that provision. So he got that money. But then he looked at the rightful owner of the bag, and he looked like he was from out of town. Just the way he spoke, the way he dressed. And he asked him if does he have any food in this guest's bag. So for the sake of just making things easier, so if we say the main character for our story, his name is Muhammad, let's just call him Muhammad for the sake of it, and the person, the rightful owner of the bag, let's just say visitor, just keep it there. So when Muhammad asked the visitor if he had any food on him, because he's feeling hungry and he really wants to eat something right now, so the visitor had some food with him. He took it out, they both prepared it, and they both had a meal for the day. And as Muhammad was talking to the visitor and they were exchanging pleasantries and exchanging conversation, they spoke about a lot of things, but the visitor felt sorry for this guy. So he took out another 500 dirhams or dinars to give it to him just for the sake of. But Muhammad wasn't having any of it. He just said, no, I'm not going to take any more. You've given me 500, that's more than enough. So he decided to, and then they both parted way. Then days passed, and he heard that there's a boat leaving soon towards country X. And he thought if he could board that ship, go to this country, he's got some money now, he's got some capital, and then he can go and start his business if he can. And obviously this is talking about us going to the coast of Jeddah right now, and from Jeddah onwards. He got on the boat capsized, or sunk, and he was able to survive floating on a plank of wood. That plank of wood led him, or eventually he found himself in an island somewhere, and in that island, upon waking up, he started walking until he found a little town, and in that town there was a masjid. He went into the masjid to thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he survived this ordeal that has befallen him. He sat in the masjid, and then somebody from the masjid looked at him, knew that this person's from out of town naturally, and they started talking. The islander took Muhammad over to his house, fed him, looked after him, and he saw that Muhammad was actually reading the Quran. He saw a copy of the Quran there, and he started reading it. So he approached Muhammad with an idea to start teaching them and the children of the island Quran. He obviously agreed, started teaching them Quran, and then he expanded his teaching lessons also to include writing, so he started teaching them writing. So he started getting a salary for the teaching, for being a teacher on the island, and he eventually bought a house or rented a house. And one day, a few islanders came over to his house. They approached him with an idea. They said to him, "Listen, you've been in this island for a long time. Bearing in mind, he's quite an old man, and was approached by the idea to get married. They've got an orphan girl whom they see that this guy is the most suitable person for her. He's quite righteous," referring to Muhammad, "he's quite righteous, quite pious, and most definitely he will look after her." And eventually, upon a lot of insistence, he said, "Okay, I'll agree if she agrees." She agreed. He eventually succumbed to the idea of agreeing, and then the date for the wedding was announced. On the date of when the bride was brought forth to him, the weirdest thing happened, in the sense that the islanders all noticed that he's not actually fixated on his bride. So let's just say if he was shy, then if he's not going to look at his bride, then he'll look down on the floor out of shyness. But he was actually fixated at her neck. When he looked at her neck, they were looking at him, and they all dragged him aside. They're saying, "Well, stop with the stares," something along that. "Stop with the stares, she's your bride." But he was like, no, I'm not, it's nothing about her. I'm just fixated on the pearl necklace she has on her neck. I've got a story with that exact necklace. He recognized it. It was quite unique, and he recognized it and remembered it from earlier. And he started telling them the story. The entire island was shocked and gobsmacked, because the father of this girl actually told them the story of this man and what had happened to him in Mecca, and how that he found him, and that he also offered him an extra 500, but he didn't take it. And the thing is, ever since he told the islanders that story, he was forever asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his dua, "Oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let my daughter get married to a man like that man, like Muhammad," basically. And he forever kept making that dua, and so much so that they all knew that his dua, he wanted his orphan daughter to get married to this Muhammad. And subhanallah, a couple of years after marriage, sadly his wife passed away, inheriting her entire wealth. He took his wealth and then returned back to Mecca. Now, I know it's not like the most amazing story. It was nice, how this little twist happened in the story, and I thought it was quite interesting. But more to the point, if you were really to go for a point with the story, and you can deduce whatever you feel you took out of the story, but the best thing is, subhanallah, no matter what happens to you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already got the wheels of motion for a better you already in place. Things are happening right now that you don't know of, that is geared towards your success, or you attaining a certain provision that you don't know of or haven't even thought about by now. And subhanallah, just the fact that that man walked down this certain alley, this certain place, only just goes to show that subhanallah, Allah will take you down paths that you don't know, and you don't know what it will lead to, but eventually through the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, things will happen and things will open up to you. Hope you'll enjoy that. In fact, you can share some of what you took out of this story in the comments below. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.